Alright Alpha fam, let's do a quick market update. So before we begin, I do want to say that nothing in this video is financial advice. Everything in this video is for educational purposes only. This is just my own independent analysis on the market. And before we begin, I do want to say if you're new to this channel, if you can please like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. It really helps us out tremendously. So now let's get into this data, guys. So yesterday, we got a pretty good bounce. Most tokens, most of the coins bounced yesterday, which we said in our video, that was the line in the sand. This was kind of do or die. This is when we needed to get out of this area. This is the 4-hour chart. It looks like Bitcoin has made its deviation below. It's done a retest, and it looks like it's trying to kind of make its way back up to this 50-day. Now this 50-day, I'm going to be watching the reaction at that area very, very closely, because one thing we don't want to happen is like what we had here, which is a rejection, because then if we get a rejection, then the chances of going down further are there. But it's still a little premature. I'm not going to say that yet, because essentially what's going to happen is this, guys. What I think has been happening more than anything is we've just been essentially following behind the stock market. All right. The stock market hadn't had a chance to really correct since way back in April. It's been pretty much up only. This is the first time we've had a break below the 50-day on the stock market in months and months and months. With that being said, this could go a couple different ways. What I'm kind of hoping is, you kind of see this how like we had this major correction here. We came down. Once we got back above the 50, we had this like small corrective here, and then we went below it, but then it managed to go ahead and make new all-time highs and get back above. That's what I'm kind of hoping that we're kind of going through right now, is just kind of a small corrective going into Q4 on the back of some, uncertainty from economic data, with the government shutdown happening, the Trump China tariff stuff. I mean, there was just a lot of uncertainty at that time, plus the liquidity was drying up, and it just kind of made things just not the best optimal conditions at that specific time for the markets. So then these things have a delayed effect, and that's what we've kind of seen here. We can see the same thing on the S&P 500. It started to have a bounce yesterday, and then this is its futures, which we can see when it came up had a bounce, and it's starting to move up as well. With that being said, Bitcoin is not out of the woodworks yet, but there is some things that are also showing me some signs of some strength and showing me that some of this isn't quite making a lot of sense. Let me show you the first thing. We've been talking about this for a while now, guys. Bitcoin dominance being below the 50 is not something that you see bear markets. Everybody's panicking. Everybody thinks everything's going to zero. It's just not. You typically see Bitcoin dominance racing to the upside. Altcoins are typically like something like right here where you see this big candle or these big wicks up, and altcoins are bleeding next to Bitcoin. Look, Bitcoin's down 1.72%. Ethereum's down less. Sui's down less. Most of the market's down less than Bitcoin. So it's showing an undeniable strength in altcoins right now that I don't think anybody could deny. With that being said, also looking at USDT dominance. This places in a major area where it usually, and you can see when it comes up here, it usually rejects. If we get a rejection from that zone, I will be targeting it to come down here. I imagine the 50-day would start snaking back, continue to snake up, and then probably start to curl. And then this thing, depending on what happens, we would love it to slice through, use it as a bearish retest, the 50-day go down, and then this thing start kind of making its next move down. If it does not do that, this is the next scenario that I'll be watching. If the 50-day continues to come up, this thing comes down and it bounces, and it doesn't slice through like it did over here, well, that will be an indication that we are just getting a bounce. The bull market maybe in fact is done, and we're just getting a last little bit of short squeeze out of these alts, like one final push until we finish rolling over. Now, do I think we're going to go into like this really long extended bear market? No, I don't, because there's too many good things that are coming up. First is this. This is the Fed's balance sheet, guys. This thing finally, since 2022, is finally coming to an end. December 1st, they stopped quantitative tightening. Quantitative tightening is when this thing goes down, and quantitative tightening is when this thing goes up. All right. You can see when we went through COVID, what happened? Quantitative easing went crazy. Like they printed all the stimulus checks because of COVID. And then you can see, when was this at? During the last 2021 bull run. All right. We are just now about to finally stop tightening, and usually 3 to 6 months afterwards, we'll start the easing schedule. Well, guess what's happening in a few months, guys? Jerome Powell's getting replaced. Trump made a post about it yesterday that he will decide the next Fed chair before Christmas. All right? This is pretty important because with that and us also getting economic data coming out, one reason I think the market struggled, and you've seen a direct correlation, when this thing started, this is the Fed decision on poly market. This is December 10th decision. You can see it's at 48% for a 25 basis point. You can literally see when this thing started going down, the market started going down. You can compare the two charts. This market's become so infatuated with rate cuts that they don't even really understand the macro setup and the reason why these things are even relevant. They're just so infatuated with them and think that we need them. And it's a little concerning, but of course, hopefully, we have now data coming out. All right, data is being released. We have all the way till December 10th. Hopefully, especially with the inflation data coming out, especially if we get a sharp reduction in inflation, we do know that unemployment slightly rose again yesterday. That's going to increase our odds of hopefully getting another rate cut, which the market is not pricing in, and I think we get a good reaction from. Regardless, Jerome Powell gets replaced on, I think it's May 1st. During that period, I expect us to rally. People are going to be thinking, oh, we're going to turn the money printers on, rates are coming to zero. It's just going to be the narrative. Always remember, crypto needs a North Star. It needs a guiding light. Anytime there's uncertainty, it panics. And anytime there's an event coming up in the future that's bullish, it gets front ran every single time. All right? Always remember that, guys. I'm watching things extremely close. One thing I did not like is the fact that gold's making a little bit of a move back up. But of course, I'm hoping what it'll do is reject from here and it'll make its third lower high. So he made this higher low, is higher high, higher low, and then I would like to see this thing kind of roll back over. I really don't want to see gold start pumping, guys, because that is usually an indication that people are starting to get a little bit scared of the market, and that's what they're going to usually dump all of their money into. I'm really watching everything extremely close. We are at some critical levels. I'm still on the fence right now with whether I think that we are going to go into a bear market or if we're just going through a major bear trap and the market's just trying to basically scare everybody out of their positions. And it does that, guys. It will do that. It will paint pictures to scare you guys because it doesn't want you to make money. All right? I'm going to be going into some further details in other videos, and I'm going to be making them about a lot of the macro information that I have so that you guys can really understand what I'm talking about in the bigger picture, the global big picture that's going on right now, guys. And I think a lot of people are not understanding. Crypto is the future of finance. It's the #1 emerging market in the world. It is being adopted faster than the internet. It's being adopted faster than cell phones. Every single bank in the future will own and adopt a network. They will adopt a stable coin, and they will transact using that because it's far better technology than what they do now. I'm telling you guys this, in the next 5 or 10 years, you will look back at this time and wish you didn't buy more blue chip assets. All right? So, keep your notifications on, guys. Again, if it's your first time, finding this video, please like, share, and subscribe. It really, really, really helps us out, guys. We're trying to get this information to as many people as possible. I see retail constantly get wrecked in these markets, guys. If you're looking for somewhere to get some real alpha, you're looking for somewhere to get some real information with a really good group of guys that are all working together to level up, click the link below, guys, and I'll see you inside.